let me tell you about Leo and Lily. They were the kind of couple you see in those commercials for, I don't know, yogurt? Or maybe really comfortable socks. They were just so perfectly matched, it was almost unbelievable. Leo had this big booming laugh that could shake a room, and hair that was a bright sunny yellow, always sticking up in a funny way. He loved building things, anything from a tiny birdhouse to a giant wobbly bookshelf. He was a simple guy, happy with a hammer in his hand and a smile on his face. Lily was the complete opposite in the best way possible. She was like a beautiful, delicate flower. Everything about her was graceful. Her studio was her sanctuary, filled with the scent of oil paints and turpentine, a place where she could pour her heart out. Together, they were Leo and Lily, a picture of perfect, colorful harmony, or so everyone thought. But you know, sometimes the prettiest pictures have something hidden in the background. They start as a tiny whisper and soon become a roar that you just can't ignore. One sunny Tuesday, a day that felt just like any other. Leo was cleaning out the attic. It was a dusty, forgotten space, old holiday decorations, clothes they never wore. He found it. Tucked away in a dark corner behind a stack of old magazines was a small wooden box, dark polished cherry wood, a small intricate lock on the front. It felt foreign, mysterious, out of place. He shook it gently. Something rattled inside. It wasn't heavy but sounded important. He called down, "Lily, honey, did you put a box up here?" Lily, off screen. "No, dear, I haven't been in the attic in ages." The seed of suspicion was planted. A box she didn't know about, or a box she didn't want him to know about? His humming stopped, replaced by a quiet, furrowed brow. The sunny day suddenly felt a little less bright. He brought the box downstairs and placed it on the kitchen table, the same table where they shared breakfast every morning. He ran his fingers over the smooth wood. It was beautifully made, but it felt cold to the touch. He thought about Lily. Secrets weren't her style. Their whole relationship was built on being an open book. For the rest of the day, that box was all he could think about. It was a silent accusation sitting in the heart of their home. Where did it come from? What was inside? Why was it hidden? The trust he had always felt suddenly had a tiny crack in it. He had to know what was inside. Later that night, after Lily had gone to her studio to paint, Leo couldn't stand it anymore. The suspense was eating him alive. His hands trembling, he took a small screwdriver from his toolbox. He worked at the tiny lock, and with a soft click, it sprang open. He took a deep breath, like a diver about to plunge into icy water, and slowly lifted the lid. Inside the box there wasn't gold or jewels. It was a collection of miniature paintings, no bigger than his palm. But these weren't like Lily's usual work. Her paintings were bright, full of landscapes and flowers. They were portraits of another man. A man with slick dark hair and a smug smile. They were painted with a passion and an intimacy that made Leo's stomach twist into a knot. This wasn't just art, this was a secret history. He picked one up, his fingers feeling clumsy and big. Who was he, and why did Lily paint him with such care, such affection? He felt a wave of confusion followed by a cold, sharp sting of betrayal. It was a feeling he had never known before, and it was awful. It was like all the bright, beautiful colors of his world were draining away, leaving behind dull, miserable shades of gray. He carefully placed the painting back in the box and shut the lid, but it was too late. The secret was out, and it was now sitting between them, a silent, ugly thing. When Lily came back from her studio, she found Leo sitting at the kitchen table in the dark, the open box in front of him. The air was thick with a tension you could cut with a knife. She saw the box, and all the color drained from her face.
Lily. Leo. Narrator. Her usually graceful posture faltered, and she looked small and fragile.
Close on the box, she already knew. Her eyes were fixed on the tiny portraits, her secret laid bare on the table for him to see. There was nowhere to hide now. The storm had finally arrived.
Leo, I think you know what this is, Lily. Narrator. It wasn't his usual booming, happy voice. This was the voice of a man whose heart had been broken. Leo, who is he?
Lily. His name is Marco. He was my first love. Narrator. She explained everything.
Before I met you. It was a confession, a whisper that felt like a shout in the silent room.
Lily. I hid them because I was ashamed. I painted him to understand the pain, to get it out of my system. They don't mean anything now. Narrator. She looked at him, her face a mess of tears and regret.
Leo listened, his expression unreadable. He wanted to believe her, he really did.
Leo. Why didn't you just tell me, Lily? Narrator. Our whole life I thought we had no secrets.
The days that followed were quiet and heavy. The usual laughter and cheerful chatter were gone, replaced by a painful silence. Leo moved to the guest room and the space between them felt like a giant, empty canyon. Lily's paintbrushes sat untouched, and Leo's workshop was silent. Finally, after a week of misery, Lily did something brave. She took the small wooden box and a can of turpentine out to the garden. She laid each tiny portrait on the grass. She soaked a cloth in turpentine and one by one, wiped each painting clean, erasing the face of her past until the canvases were blank. It was a symbolic act, a promise that she was letting go of her secrets for good. He saw her vulnerability, her regret, and her genuine love for him. He realized trust isn't just about never having secrets. It's also about having the courage to face them together.
Leo, the canvases are blank now. Lily, we can paint something new.
Together, something better. The hurt was still there, like a faint stain. But for the first time, a little bit of color was starting to creep back into their world. A relationship isn't a perfect, finished painting. It's a canvas you work on every single day.